There is a YouTube channel with nearly 300,000 subscribers and over 100 million views. The creator never shows their face. Every single video is built around motion graphics and animated visuals. And based on standard YouTube revenue rates, that channel has generated somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000. Now, here's the part that changes everything. You can create the exact same style of motion graphics using Claude Code. No video editing experience required. No design background. No coding knowledge. Just plain language instructions and a setup that takes about 20 minutes. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. Faceless YouTube channels built around animated data visuals, ranking videos, chart animations, rising bar graphics have become one of the most reliable formats for building a large audience without ever appearing on camera. The format works because the visuals are inherently engaging. People genuinely enjoy watching numbers move, rankings shift, and charts rise. When the data is interesting, the animation does all the work of holding attention. The barrier to creating this content has always been technical skill. Building smooth animated charts and motion graphics traditionally requires experience with professional animation software, knowledge of design principles, and significant time investment. Most people who want to make this kind of content give up before they start because the learning curve feels too steep. Claude Code with the Remotion skill removes that barrier almost entirely. You describe the animation you want in plain conversational language. Claude builds it. You preview it, request any adjustments, and render the final file. The entire process, from idea to finished motion graphic, can take under 5 minutes once everything is set up. The setup requires a few things installed on your computer before Claude Code can start creating motion graphics. Each one is free to download, and the installation for each is straightforward. The first is Visual Studio Code. This is the environment where you will work with Claude Code. Download it from the Visual Studio Code website, run the installer, and go through the standard setup steps. It is a clean, professional coding environment, but you will be using it purely as the place to talk to Claude. No actual coding knowledge needed. The second is Node.js. This allows your computer to run the kind of code that Claude Code uses to generate motion graphics. Download it from the Node.js website. Run the installer, and click through the setup steps. The third is Git. This is a tool that helps manage code files and is required for the Remotion skill to install correctly. Download it from the Git website, choose your operating system, and install it with the default settings. Once all three are installed, open Visual Studio Code and install the Claude Code extension. Go to the Extensions panel on the left side, search for Claude Code, and click Install. Make sure Auto Update is enabled so you always have the latest version. Once installed, connect it to your Claude account by following the authorization prompt. This links your Claude subscription to the Claude Code environment. With Claude Code running inside Visual Studio Code, the next step is installing the Remotion skill. This is what gives Claude the specific knowledge and tools to create motion graphic videos, rather than just writing general code. Open a new terminal inside Visual Studio Code. You will find this option in the top menu. Type the installation command for the Remotion skill and press Enter. If you get a permissions error on Windows, you can fix it by opening PowerShell separately and running a quick permissions update command. Both commands will be available to copy from the video description. Once the installation command runs successfully, it will ask you about the installation scope. Choose Global. This installs Remotion across your entire Claude Code setup, so it is always available regardless of which project you are working on. When asked about the installation method, choose the recommended option and confirm the installation when prompted. That is the full setup complete. Everything from here is just writing prompts and watching Claude build your motion graphics. To test that everything is working, try a simple prompt first. Ask Claude Code to use the Remotion skill to generate a video showing a chart rising upward with a number that counts from 0 to a specific percentage. Keep the prompt short and see what comes back. Claude will ask for permission to run certain commands the first time they allow them. This only happens on your first use. After that, Claude works without interruption. The generation takes between 30 seconds and 2 minutes, depending on the complexity of what you asked for. When it finishes, Claude gives you a local web address to visit in your browser. This opens the Remotion editor, a preview environment where you can watch your animation play back in real time, just like a video player. You will see exactly what Claude built from your description. Scrub through the timeline, play it back at full speed, and evaluate what you want to adjust. If the result needs changes, describe them in the same chat. Make the chart taller. Change the color. Adjust the timing. Speed up the animation. Every adjustment is made in plain language, and Claude updates the animation immediately. When you are happy with what you see, click Render in the Remotion editor. Choose your format and frame rate, and save the finished video file to your computer. Once you have the basics working, the kind of animations you can produce scales significantly with more detailed prompts. The ranking bar chart race, where multiple items compete for position as their values change over time, is one of the most popular formats on YouTube right now. Videos showing the richest people in the world, the most followed social media accounts by country, the fastest growing cities, the most popular songs by decade, all of these use the same basic animation format. A horizontal bar chart where the bars grow and shift positions as the numbers change, with smooth transitions between states, names, and values displayed clearly, and a visual polish that makes the whole thing satisfying to watch. Creating this in Claude Code requires a more detailed prompt, but still nothing beyond plain language description. Describe what the animation is showing, what data it should contain, how many items to display at once, how the bars should be styled, what text should appear, how long the animation should run, and what kind of background and color scheme you want. If you want help writing the prompt, you can ask Claude in a regular chat session first to describe what you want to create and ask it to write a detailed Remotion prompt for you. Then take that prompt into Claude Code. The result is a smooth, professional quality animation that would genuinely take hours to produce manually in a traditional animation program. Through this workflow, it is ready to preview and render in minutes. The practical application of this capability for YouTube content is significant. Ranking videos perform extremely well because the format is inherently watchable. People are naturally curious about who comes first, what comes next, and how things change over time. They work across almost any topic: sports statistics, historical data, economic trends, population growth, technology adoption, music chart history, geographic information. A channel built around this format does not require you to appear on camera. It does not require a specific expertise. You are presenting data that already exists in the world, formatted in a way that makes it engaging and easy to follow. The voiceover can be kept simple or generated using AI voice tools. The visuals do the heavy lifting. The production workflow using Claude Code is fast enough to be genuinely sustainable. A single motion graphic can be generated, reviewed, and rendered in under 10 minutes. A full video combining several graphics with a voiceover and basic editing is achievable in an afternoon. That production speed is what makes the volume required to build a successful channel on this format feel manageable rather than overwhelming. A few things that consistently improve the quality of what Claude Code produces: write specific prompts. The more detail you include about what you want, the visual style, the data, the timing, the colors, the specific elements you want to appear, the closer the first output will be to what you had in mind. Vague prompts produce vague results. Iterate through conversation. When something is not quite right, describe the specific change you want rather than starting over. Keep working in the same chat session to build on what is already working rather than rebuilding from scratch. Use numerical values for adjustments. Instead of asking for something to be bigger, try specifying 20% bigger. Instead of faster, try twice as fast. Specific numbers give Claude a precise target and reduce the number of rounds of adjustment needed. Preview carefully before rendering. The Remotion editor lets you scrub through the entire animation at full resolution before committing to a render. Use that preview to catch anything that needs adjustment before you spend the time on the final export. The combination of Claude Code and Remotion gives anyone the ability to produce the kind of motion graphic content that drives serious YouTube channel growth, without design skills, without animation experience, and without spending weeks learning complex software. The setup takes 20 minutes. The first animation takes a few minutes to generate, and from there, the only limit on what you can create is how clearly you can describe what you want. Start today. Install the tools, follow the setup steps, and generate your first animation before the end of the week. The gap between wanting to make this kind of content and actually making it has never been smaller. And speaking of things changing fast, in the next video, I am covering something that has genuinely shifted the balance of power in the AI world: Anthropic has just dethroned OpenAI, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened, why it matters, and what comes next for everyone building with AI tools right now. Click the next video, and I will see you there. If this gave you something valuable, leave a comment telling me the one thing you're committing to change about how you use AI. I want to hear it. And if you want to go even deeper, stick around. There's more where this came from.